love to find out what initially brought you guys to want to find out what was in your school library.
Okay, well, initially, I mean, Kristen and I started a parental rights group last May, almost a year ago, actually. And we've done a lot of research for education purposes and tried to just notify parents of things that were coming, especially regards to the curriculum that hit New Jersey, the sex ed curriculum. Somewhere along those lines in August, I started noticing in other areas in the news these books that were in school libraries. And the pictures that I saw, in all honesty, I didn't believe. So I thought, no, there's no way someone put that in a school.
Right.
So where you notice, I'm sure Kristen's strength is passion and inspiration. And I am just the researcher. So I went on and I accessed the online database, which every school has. And I was floored. Roxbury didn't have just one. It has every book that I've seen challenged or questioned in the country is in Roxbury High School. And it's not in surrounding districts. It's not the same.
Wow. Wow. So when you all realized that that was there, what was their first step of action? What did you decide to do at that point?
I immediately notified Kristen because that's just what we do. And we go from there. Where are we going to go? She suggested, let's tell the parental rights group because there are parents in there with high school age children. And that's the first people that should be made aware. So we did. And several parents emailed the librarian because at this point, I think everybody thought, wow, she must not know what's in these books. Let's
right.
Let her know that something slipped by. And then the emails back told us that everyone was aware what was in those books. And the idea behind it was that they are reflective of the community and they were defended. So then, Kristen, the fighter she is, immediately brought it to the board since nothing was done in the first steps that we took.
And remind me again, Kristen, what was the first time you went to the board with your concerns?
So the first time I went to the board about this issue was in August of 2022.
Okay. And then what were you met with when you brought those up?
Yeah. So initially I knew I had to be very clear about the content of these books and how unacceptable it was and how as parents, we feel that this is not the school's place to be sharing this type of sexually explicit material with our minor children and the minor children of Roxbury. And what started to happen is first there was no response. And then month after month, as we addressed this, September was the second meeting I spoke at about the books. And we were met with a post from the Roxbury media page
on Twitter
that encouraged kids to exercise their right to, quote, read whatever they want. We then started getting essentially attacks from sitting board members stating that we were just a vocal few in town. So that actually stuck. And these sitting board members at the time were referring to Christina and I as just the vocal few, essentially minimizing our concerns and gaslighting us. So nothing was done at that point.
So did you have any community support at that point from the parents that you had already kind of gathered for your parent group that you had? Did you have the backing of them? Were they coming to the school board meetings when you all were there speaking your concerns?
So we did have the support behind the scenes of them, but many of them, again, based on what job they had or their position within the school district, they were very concerned about being present at the school board meetings. So to be honest, it was typically about 5 of us that were there consistently.
Wow. So how did you both find out? So you were going to the school board meetings, it was being met with resistance. They were saying you were the minority posing these concerns. So what was how did you find out you were getting sued by this librarian?
So I was working from home. We had spoken at the March 6th board meeting. A couple weeks later, I'm working from home and I'm upstairs and I hear a knock at the door. I'm like, that's weird. And I run downstairs and lo and behold, there's a Morris County Sheriff's officer serving me, a local Roxbury mom, with a lawsuit for standing up for what was right for my children. I was honestly shocked. Like, is this America? Yeah. Where I find sexually graphic and explicit material in a library of a public school, and I am now being sued for passionately speaking out against it for the safety of children. It was surreal. I still cannot believe that this is happening. But we're not looking to back down at any point. I think that we truly are passionate about our role in raising awareness and letting parents know that they do have a voice.
That it's unbelievable. So tell me a little bit about this content that you found at the school. Tell me about these books. I mean, I've seen some excerpts, and it is ridiculously, it's so inappropriate. It's unbelievable. But tell me a little bit about what you found. Okay.
So what meets the eye when you open these books, there's explicit sex acts between cartoon figures. So it's whether it's a man and a woman, a man and a man, a woman and a woman, it's explicit. Some are showing sex acts between adults and children. Some are words teaching them how to, quote, do the sex. There are sexual tutorials on how to perform sex acts that I, as a 37-year-old woman, have never even heard of.
Wow.
So the point that we really want to make is we're not trying to be book burners. We're not book burners. Our goal is to limit sexually explicit and inappropriate content in schools. The reality here is that we're going after the content of the book, not the subject.
And just to piggyback what Kristen is saying, as proof, I went back onto the database and I just typed in subject. And if you type in gay, there's 173 books. We have an issue with 11 books. So it's not the topic, it's the content of those books.
Right. Wow. So when you talk about that database that you mentioned, Christina, what database is that parents can access to kind of see what's going on in their district? Is this a New Jersey only opportunity, or is this nationwide?
It's district by district. So there's, for example, Ours Use Destiny, which is like, I think it's partnered with Follett or some of that, but you can very easily go on to the school on the district website, media center, and then they should all have a link for online database. Some are trickier than others. Some have taken me longer for other towns and to look into for other people who've asked. Our middle school was trickier, but our middle school seems to be okay. It's just the high school. But yeah, it's something that everybody can do. And even if it's not the same program, if I'm with the person, I could probably figure out for them how to do it.
So is that what you would recommend for parents who may be listening, maybe watching, who are concerned now about what is in their son or daughter's school and their public school library? Would you recommend that's the first approach, is to go on the database and find out, or what would you suggest for them?
Absolutely. I think so. Yeah,
I think that getting the facts first and seeing if in fact those books are present in their district, I think that's key. And then taking the next steps of reaching out to administrators, superintendent.
Yeah. So why is it important for you both to continue being brave in this situation?
I think that this is a bigger issue right now. I think we're looking to restore the fundamental rights as parents. We want to be able to manage the upbringing and education of our own children. I feel that we need a bigger platform in order to inspire, engage, and educate parents all over about what's really happening and what they're capable of doing to take back the control and to take back their fundamental rights. We really feel that every parent's voice is powerful. And if they don't feel that they have a voice, we can help you. We can give you that strength. We'll be your strength. There is strength in numbers. This is about our children and the safety and moving forward. If not us, then who?
Right, exactly.
We need to really stand up and empower one another to say, we're going to raise our children with the values that we uphold in our home, not a public school that wants to sexually exploit our children.
Excellent. Christina, do you have anything you want to add to that? Why you want to continue being brave in this?
I mean, first and foremost, I'm going to be completely honest. My children are the most important thing in my life, and I know other parents feel the same way. And I just it's not just about the books. There's a bigger picture happening here. I don't understand why people think this is okay to do anymore, and it has to be stopped. And Kristen and I say it, she said it before. I understand people are afraid. It's not fun, but as we tell each other all the time, if not us, then who?
Yeah. Well, y'all just gave me chills with both of your answers. So I am so thankful for people like you, honestly. I mean, truthfully, you are inspiring. And I hope that, you know, so many people get behind you guys. And I know that they will, you know. I want to ask on a kind of a more personal level, what is it like to be you today, Kristen?
A good question. I think it's a lot right now. I think that Christina and I have a great friendship, and we've learned that our friendship was essentially built off of two moms supporting one another in order to protect our children. And I think there's no greater gift than that. I think that we feel strong together. We know that we have the truth on our side, and we know that, as Christina said, our kids are everything to us. So in all honesty, I'm okay with taking the heat and moving forward and being vocal, because nobody will stop me from protecting my children.
I love that. Christina, what's it like to be you today?
It's chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, life with 3 boys is chaotic as it is, but you throw in a lawsuit and media and, you know, and it's just not in my nature to back down. Especially when I know someone's just trying to intimidate me, that does not sit well. So I welcome the chaos at this point. It just is a necessary evil, and that's whatever has to be done to protect my kids and others, I'll do.
And what a beautiful example you're setting for your children. I mean, they're getting to see perseverance and resilience and trusting in God and believing in what the truth is and standing up for the truth.